Hi, I'm Alison from Moxie Boss Coaching and Consulting, and today is International Women's Day 2024 with the theme of Inspire Inclusion. And I wanted to make sure that you were inspired to include yourself in conversations like these. So I was in a panel discussion the other night, and it revolved around these sorts of themes of how to inspire yourself to be included and how to include others in the organizations that we work in and in society as a whole. So I thought I'd share some of my thoughts with you on this really important topic. So one of the questions that I was asked was, Alison, as a leadership coach, particularly for women and emerging leaders, do you see women having difficulties with actually putting their hands up for promotions or for pay rises in the workplace? And if you do, why is this happening and what can people do about it? So from the question, it implies the answer, and the answer is yes. I see women all of the time struggling with putting their hands up to say, I did this or I deserve a promotion. And it's really holding a lot of us back. Sometimes it feels as though we're doing it because we're being realistic. I don't quite deserve a promotion yet because I haven't been here long enough. So there's lots of things that sound realistic. But a lot of the time, they're actually not. They're these self-limiting beliefs that you might have heard about. But we'll get onto those in a second. It's really interesting to delve into the scientific studies around this kind of phenomenon. So the idea of self-rejection has been around for a while, and it's one of the terms that I love using. I spot it in myself all of the time, and I spot it in my clients as well. So it's worth pointing out. So you might have heard of the Dunning-Kruger effect. This was a research study done a few years ago at a university in the US. And they studied the relationship between confidence and competence. And a lot of the time it was men who had this excessive confidence in their abilities. So Dunning came out and said, well, this is kind of interesting. What's going on with the women here with this effect? And so he banded together with another professor from a different university, Erlinger. And the two of them actually studied what would happen if they got male and female science students together. So they got a few hundred of each, equal parts, male and female, and they wanted to give them a science quiz. So they were all science students at the university. So bright minds, very intelligent. And they asked everybody originally, how good are you at science? And the women gave themselves a 6.5 out of 10 for their scientific capabilities. The men, 7.6. And then they said, okay, we're going to give you a quiz, a science quiz. And before they got the results, they asked everybody, how did you go? The women said 5.8. The guys said 7.1. So already there is this dispersion between what we think of our capabilities and what our actual capabilities are. Because when they got the results, everybody was around about the same, about 7.5 out of 10. So when women actually do try, even though they're not so confident, they're just as successful as the guys. And so Dunning and Erlinger wanted to push this just a little bit further and see, okay, what would happen if we told them before they got their results back that the next day they could participate in a quiz for prizes, like a science competition. 71% of the guys said, yep, count me in. Only 49% of the women said, yeah, okay, let's see. So there's a massive discrepancy between how we actually perform as women and what we think of our capabilities. So before even trying something, we often self-reject and say, no, I'm no good at that actually, so I'm not even going to give it a go. I've never run a marathon before. I've only done half marathons or 3/4 marathons. So I'm not going to sign up until I know I can actually run a full marathon. Or, it often sounds like reality. You don't want to be too positive or too negative. It's realistic. I don't want to be wasting my time. But a lot of the time, that realisticness is not actually the truth with a capital T. So that reality can sound like, well, I've only been at this company for 18 months, so they tend to promote people after 3 years, so I won't put my hand up for this round. Or I won't put my hand up for this other job because I'm sure Stephen is going to get it. They love Stephen. It's in the bag for him. So I'm not even going to try. It would be a waste of my time. Or particularly in Germany, the job description says, oh, you need C1 advanced level German. And they say, oh, I've only got B2 level German, so advanced intermediate. I'm not even going to bother trying. I would say to you, just try. Ask yourself, what is it that I actually really want? What is it that I want? We talk ourselves out of this because the brain on everybody is around 2.5 times more negatively geared than positively geared. This is just how the human brain works for us. Our brain is there to keep us alive. It's not there to keep us happy. So our brain naturally goes into the negative. And women's brains also work slightly differently to men's brains. So we have a more active amygdala, which houses like the fear center of our brain and the worrywart center. And they're both much more active in women. So we ruminate over the negative things much more deeply and much longer than men do on average. So it doesn't say that you're forced to give in to your biology, not by any means. It just means that you need to be aware of it. That's all, quite simply. And speaking of biology, there's also the aspect of just being a female in terms of our hormones. So men have around about 20 times more testosterone than women, which is the risk-taking hormone in the body. And so women have much more estrogen in our bodies. And so that is more of the risk-averse hormone. So, we're biologically programmed not to take as many risks, not to rock the boat, not to jeopardize the relationships, our societal relationships, and to have the security of the home. We want to keep our jobs. So, we've got these things kind of going against us, but that doesn't mean that we have to give in to them. We just need to be aware of them. That's one of the most important things. So we miss every opportunity that we don't actually take. It sounds pithy, but it's actually the truth. So what can we do about this? Well, we can become more aware of what it is that our mind's actually telling us. We can say, okay, I'm telling myself I've been here for 18 months and I can't get a promotion because I haven't been here for 3 years. How true is that, actually? Is it true? You say, well, it's not actually, that's what usually happens, but it's not 100% the truth. Okay, so what do you do when you think it's 100% the truth? Well, you don't apply for the role. And what is it that you really want to do? I want to apply for the role. That's what I want to do. If that's what your heart is telling you to do, then you should go ahead and do it. Let someone else reject you. Rejection is redirection. When you get rejected from a new job or a pay rise, that's information. You can ask yourself, okay, is there a reason behind this? Can I talk to somebody about this? Is this showing me that I actually belong in a different work environment? Is this not working for me? It's information. And that awareness leads to a choice. What do I want to do with this information? And it will lead to a change in your life, which wouldn't have happened had you just accepted it or have just gone off into a corner and moaned about the situation. So always ask and, let them reject you. Don't self-reject. Don't do that to yourself. So that's one thing in terms of promotions and promoting yourself. Another thing that I would say is also this idea of I am remarkable. So Google has this program that they've been doing since 2016 to actually help women in the workplace to promote themselves and put their hands up and say, I did that. That was me. And a lot of women feel really uncomfortable doing this. So I lead these workshops, 90-minute workshops, where we talk about all of these issues and we give examples of the things that we've done and why we're remarkable. And a lot of the participants feel really uncomfortable speaking about the things that they've achieved in their lifetime. So it's really important that we get used to doing this because your boss needs to know how amazing you are. Your boss needs to be able to say, right, Alison did these 5 amazing points during the year. And this is why she needs to get a promotion. Make it easy for them to show other people in the organization what a superstar you are. Make it simple. And it also shows other people in other teams around the organization what you've been working on. So if you had a big client win a couple of weeks ago, let people know about it. Someone else might also have an interest in that or a similar sort of client that they could brainstorm with you on. Cross-collaboration in an organization is amazing. And no one's going to know about what you've been doing or what you're good at if you don't tell anybody. So always speak up about those sorts of wins as well. And it also shows other people in your office and in your team and in the organization that it's okay to speak up about your wins. It's all about the intent behind it. Your intention is to share this information with people to help your career, but also to help other people within the organization. So it is not boasting if it is fact. So just keep that in mind. And another part of not putting your hand up and telling people what you've done is the idea of getting a promotion simply based on performance. So I hear a lot, particularly from women, and particularly the ones who like working from home at the moment. They say, I want a promotion. My performance should speak for itself. It's not fair if it doesn't. My performance should speak for itself. Yes, it's not fair, but the world that we live in requires more than that. So there is, some thoughts out there that I do tend to agree with, and I've seen in action, that performance is really about 10% of the promotion equation. So everybody who is up for a promotion has performed well. That's why they're under consideration. So everybody's been hitting their KPIs. Everybody's been doing a little bit extra here and there. So that's why they're up for consideration. So there's a pie. To get a piece of the pie, this is an easy way to remember this. So the P is performance. So that's 10%. The I in pie is your image. When people think about you, what do they think about? Do they think Alison is a team player? She gets things done on time. She gets things done. She's really easy to talk to, good communicator. I can rely on her, trustworthy, etc., etc. Or do they think, Alison's good, but she's a bit of a pain to work with, and she's always negative. She kind of brings the mood down in the team. What kind of image are you giving out into the office, into the world? That matters. That's about another 30% of the piece of the pie that you're after when you're after a promotion. And the rest, the E, the 60%, is your exposure. Who knows how awesome you are? That's the most important thing, because, and I don't say this lightly, the most important decisions about you and your career will be made when you are not in the room. So rewind and listen to that bit again. The most important decisions about you will be made when you're not in the room. So I'm really excited for your career, and I'm interested in your comments. Do you agree with this? Are there a few points that I've left out? I know I have. I could talk on this for ages. So let me know your thoughts, and get in contact and let's connect. I look forward to hearing from you soon. Happy International Women's Day.